Hey everybody, Mr. Judson here. So we had talked yesterday about this idea of a reference angle. It's an acute angle, which means less than 90, with one side on the x-axis. Okay? So what I want for you guys to do, this will be our first problem here. I want for you to find the reference angle. That's just my angle symbol. Find the reference angle for theta equals 9 pi over 7. And remember, I know that working with degrees is always easier, because that's what we're used to. But we have to get to a point where we think radian measures are easy to work with. So whenever you see something in radians, force yourself to work with radians, just because the more we do that, the more we're going to understand and begin to feel comfortable with it. Okay? Also, anytime I ask a question on a test, if I'm asking for something in radians, I would expect an answer in radians, and so we want to make sure that we give that, okay? Not a degree answer. All right, you guys go ahead and try it. We want to find the measure of a reference angle for 9 pi over 7. All right, so I can't really make that into twelfths. So I'm not really thinking about a unit circle, but I can kind of use some of the things that we know about a unit circle. Like, maybe I want to think, what's this in decimal form? Just to help me get an idea of where that angle is located. So if I took my calculator and I did 9 pi divided by 7, as a decimal number, that's we'll just call it 4.04 radians. Okay? Well, if we think about our unit circle, this is 3.14. This was 1.57, half of this. So add another half pi, and we get, what is that, 4.71? Which, to me, that says we're somewhere in this quadrant right here. There's our angle. Okay? So the question that we want to answer is, how far past pi did I go? This is our reference angle right here. Okay? It's got to be next to the origin, and it's got to be touching the x-axis. Okay? One side is on the x-axis. So I would think to myself, well, that's pi. I went past that. So how far past that did I go? That's like saying I was supposed to drive 10 miles, but I accidentally drove 12. Well, how far past 10 did I go? That's a subtraction problem. So I just want to take this angle right here and say that our reference angle is equal to 9 pi over 7 minus pi. How far past that did I go? And so if I'm going to get a common denominator here, I would just make both of these 7s. So now 9 pi minus 7 pi, that's 2 pi over the common denominator. There's my reference angle. All right, so we'll get some questions like that today. Some will be in degrees, some will be in radians. We just need to get to the point where we're comfortable with both of those. All right, so instead of evaluating all 6, let's just do sine, cosine, and tangent. And they're going to give us some angles that are a little different. We're going around the unit circle more than just a little bit. Okay? So they want us to use a negative 840 degrees. And they want us to find the exact value, which means we should do all this without a calculator. All right? You guys go ahead and try it. All right, so first thing we got to do is figure out where is that angle at. And we know that we're going to start right here and go around a negative 840 degrees. Well, I'm going to go around at least once. So let's see, if I do 840 minus 360, that's going to be 480. Okay, but I'm going in the negative direction, right? So I'm thinking positive, but I'm doing this in the negative direction. Well, that's still around more than 1, so let's subtract another 360. And now what I have is 120 degrees. Okay, so I suppose you could have said add 360 to this and then add 360 again. But what I want to do is I want to go 120 degrees in the negative direction, and that's the angle that we're focused on. All right, so I need to go 120 degrees in the negative direction. So let me draw a unit circle. And let's see, if I start here, I go around 90 degrees in the negative direction. A negative 120, it's going to put me somewhere in this quadrant. So I'm going to be right here. The fact that in the directions they're going to say without using a calculator tells me we want to use the unit circle. Okay? Every time I see those words, I'm just assuming unit circle. All right, so my x-coordinate, that looks like the halfway point. This over here does not. So I'm going to have a negative 1/2 comma negative root 3 over 2. Now evaluate these three trig functions. So the sine of a negative 840 degrees, which ends right here, is going to be that y-coordinate, so a negative root 3 over 2. Cosine of a negative 840 degrees equals a negative 1/2. And the tangent of a negative 840. Tangent is sine over cosine. We know the 2's are going to cancel. So a negative root 3 over negative 1, that's a positive root 3. And there it is. We've answered that question. Again, this is the work, and even this over here, that shows why I got this as an answer. Okay? I know we're going in the negative direction. We're going to go around once, twice, and then another 120 degrees, which will put us right here. Okay? Remember, this is negative, but what I'm doing is I'm saying I have to go in the negative direction. I'm just subtracting off circles. I'm finding a coterminal angle. Right? So a negative 120 degrees is coterminal with a negative 840 degrees. And so once we locate that, we can just get our coordinates and answer the question. All right, let's try another one. All right, so on this question it says, if the cotangent of theta equals a negative 3, and theta is in the second quadrant, so they're just trying to make sure we get everything drawn properly, then find the sine of theta. So we just have to find one trig function this time, not all 6 of them. Okay, you guys go ahead and try it. All right, so we are in the second quadrant, so let's just draw a picture of that. So here's my angle theta. But when I do this, I need a right triangle, so I'm going to draw a right triangle right here. And this becomes my reference angle. Let's call it alpha. Okay, so the sine of alpha, of theta, the sine of this angle is going to be equal to the sine inside this triangle. So they're also telling us that the cotangent of theta is negative 3. Now, I know that to do tangent, let's just think of our SOHCAHTOA. Tangent is opposite over adjacent, so cotangent is adjacent over opposite. If I make this a fraction, then this is the adjacent side, this is the opposite side. So negative 3, and this is going to be 1. Now we've got to find the hypotenuse using the Pythagorean theorem. So 1 squared plus negative 3 squared, that's 1 plus 9. That equals the hypotenuse squared. Hypotenuse, let's see, this is going to be 10, so if I take the square root, there's what I get. And that does not simplify. So now we just have to figure out what's the sine of that angle right there. Whatever the sine of this is, the sine of that theta is going to be the same. So let's see, I want opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite over hypotenuse, that means that the sine of theta is going to equal 1 over root 10, which would be square root of 10 over 10. There's my answer. All right, let's try one more. All right, so we're going to get a couple questions today that look like ones that seem, we've been answering these for how long? A long time. Except this one's going to be a little different. It says find two solutions to this equation. Where does the cosine of theta equal root 2 over 2? And they're going to ask us to give our answer in degrees and radians. And if we're in degrees, we want theta to be between 0 and 360. If we're in radians, we want theta to be between 0 and 2 pi. Which this means we're only going to go around the unit circle one time. I'm going to go around once, and I want to find the two solutions where this happens. Okay, you guys go ahead and try it. No peeking at the unit circle, no calculators. We want to always try this on our own. Okay, you guys go ahead. All right, so this question is really about where is the cosine positive and where do I hit that middle tick mark? Because that's where root 2 over 2 occurs. So I know the cosine is the x-coordinate. It's positive when you go this way, so that's the first and the fourth quadrant. I'm just checking those off. So let me put my tick marks in here. And I know I want the middle tick mark because of root 2 over 2. So there it is. I've got 45 degrees and I've got 270 plus another 45. Or 360 minus 45. So theta is going to equal 45 degrees. And let's see, 270 plus 45, that's going to be 315. And it's also going to be 1, 2, 3 pi over 12, which reduces down to pi over 4. And I could go 6, 12, 18, 19, 20, 21. So 21 pi over 12. So I could divide by 3 and get 7 pi over 4. There's my answers in degrees and radians, and I went around the unit circle just one time to get those. All right, that's what we have for today, you guys. It's just problems that look like that. It's a lot of it, again, it looks like stuff we've done before, but they're just trying to really make sure we get it, okay? That's why you keep on seeing these questions over and over again. All right, let me get you guys a homework assignment. All right, so week number 5, this is our Wednesday piece, page 319. We're going to do 39 to 83, every other odd. All right, so do 39, skip 41, do 43, skip 45. You know, be real careful as you do that so you don't mess up, you know, your count and you get the right problems in. Okay, every other odd. All right, you guys, that's it. That's all we have for today. You guys take care, stay safe. I will see you on Friday. See you later.